tonight, exodus at City Hall.
I have made the decision not to seek re-election the 2026 civic election.
Why Janice Lukes is joining a growing list of councillors calling it quits. Also tonight, a $2 million arson. How long it took police to arrest the person they believe is responsible for the blaze. And later, catching FIFA fever, where your soccer-loving co-workers may have spent their sick day.
CTV News. Live from downtown Winnipeg with Taylor Brock.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. A staunch ally of Mayor Scott Gillingham is calling it quits at Winnipeg City Hall. Three-term councillor Janice Lukes isn't running for re-election in Waverley West this October, saying personally and professionally, it's time to move on. CTV's Jeff Keel has more on the surprise announcement.
Janice Lukes announced she will exit City Council this fall.
I have made the decision not to seek re-election the 2026 civic election.
First elected in 2014, Lukes sits on Mayor Scott Gillingham's Executive Policy Committee as the Public Works Chair. Lukes says professionally and personally, it is time to go.
You know in your heart, in many things in life, when it's the right time, and this is the right time for me.
The three-term councillor has been an advocate for bike and walking paths, tackled illegal student rooming houses in South Winnipeg, and helped secure money for the South Rec Centre project. And she spent years on the transit, snow clearing, and street repair files that fall under her committee.
I want to go out on a high note of doing good work. I want to be able to hand it off to someone else and for that person to pick up and run with it.
Lukes may be closer to Scott Gillingham than anyone on council. The two embraced before he spoke to reporters. The mayor called her an exemplary councillor and says it is a loss for him personally and for the city. It may be a political loss too, but Lukes says she will door knock for Gillingham this fall as he runs for mayor again.
She's been a strong ally.
And while she is tight with the current mayor, Lukes was at odds with former Mayor Brian Bowman, who removed her from EPC following her opposition to the controversial impact fees on new home builds. CTV News asked Lukes if she's spoken with Bowman since he left office in 2022.
No, he didn't speak to me when he was here. Why would I speak to him after?
Lukes' announcement caught many at City Hall off guard Wednesday.
I had no indication that she wasn't running.
And this comes just days after another longtime councillor, John Orlico, said he too is walking away.
I'm getting up there in age, and I've been in public life for a long time.
Jeff Keel, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Luke says she doesn't have anything else lined up and doesn't know what her future holds next. But when asked about running for a political office somewhere else, Luke says she's learned to never say never. A Winnipeg woman is facing charges in connection to a destructive fire in southwest Winnipeg. It happened 3 weeks ago at this industrial building in the 1500 block of Seal Avenue. Police say the Fort Garry blaze caused more than $2 million in damages to the building and its contents. While fighting the inferno, a firefighter was injured and taken to hospital in stable condition. On Sunday, officers arrested a 30-year-old woman. She's also being accused of breaking into and stealing from a vehicle prior to the fire. Charges include arson, mischief under $5,000, and theft under $5,000. Winnipeg has had no shortage of rain lately, leaving behind a lot of standing water and puddles. They could be brewing an infamous invasion, the return of the mosquitoes. As of yesterday, the average adult mosquito trap count for the city is sitting at 23. However, the top dishonor goes to Charleswood Assiniboine Forest area, thanks to a trap count of 105. The mosquito population has reached an adulticide factor analysis level of medium. Those buzzwords mean larvae are present at high levels, temperatures are favorable for a normal rate of development, and soil is saturated with moisture. As a result, preemptive spraying could be considered for certain areas to reduce adult populations before they become high nuisance issues. No fogging is being considered just yet. The number of short-term rentals operating in Winnipeg continues to grow, but the numbers are still short of what the city originally anticipated. The latest report shows 870 licenses were issued in the fiscal year ending March 31st. That's up from 698 the previous year, which was when licensing first began. Nearly 100 licenses were either denied, withdrawn, canceled, or suspended last year, and the city still hasn't broke even on the cost of operating the licensing program because the initial budget assumed 900 licenses would be issued annually. The city had to transfer more than $100,000 from a reserve fund to make up the difference. $3.2 million is being split between 3 different groups looking to help Black business owners. The cash is coming from the federal government's Black entrepreneurship program. $1.5 million is going to the Black Manitobans Chamber of Commerce to provide training, advice, and connections to business leaders and lenders. $1.2 million is being designated to help Black Francophone Manitobans with management, finance, and marketing skills, plus $500,000 to help Black and racialized youth build entrepreneurial skills in food trucks, mobile catering, e-commerce, and digital services. A significant day for the Winnipeg Police Service. Its district stations will now hold sacred eagle feathers.
So it holds and carries a lot of responsibility. It reminds the holder that you have a lot of history and ancestors that are watching over you.
8 beaded eagle feathers have been gifted to the Winnipeg Police Service by an Indigenous elder. The colors represent the medicine wheel and the 4 nations. The feathers carry the same legal standing as swearing on a Bible or making an affirmation. They will be available for victims and witnesses when providing statements and to members affirming oaths.
This effort is significant for 2 key reasons. First, it reflects culturally appropriate practices. And secondly, it has provided our Indigenous members to draw on their lived experiences to help guide the service's progress along our path of reconciliation.
The feathers will be housed in boxes created by woodworking students at R.B. Russell School until they're needed. They will be smudged after each use. Today's gift stems from a recommendation given by the police chief's Indigenous working group. The Winnipeg Symphony Orchestra is making the most of Manitoba's short summer. It's offering seasonal programming called Symphony in the City Summer Series. WSO musicians will be popping up across the city in small ensembles for casual outdoor performances. Locations range from the St. Norbert Farmers Market to Granite Curling Club's The Beer Can. A full list of upcoming shows can be found at wso.ca. And that's not the only summer favorite returning to the Peg City. Tickets, passes, and programs are now on sale for the 2026 Fringe Festival. More than 160 indoor shows are planned, with performance companies coming from as far away as Brazil, New Zealand, and Switzerland. If you want to be on the inside of the Fringe, organizers are looking for volunteers. Applications are being accepted until July 14th. The Fringe Festival runs July 15th to 26th. You can find all those details and tickets by visiting winnipegfringefest.com. And here is our first look at tonight's weather. It is currently quite cloudy, sitting at 16 degrees with some lighter winds out of the north. Pressure is rising. However, humidity is at 90%. Tonight in Winnipeg, we can expect a partly cloudy sky to continue for us. 12 degrees being the coolest it'll get for us overnight. Tomorrow morning starts off at 15 degrees with a mix of sun and cloud.
Everybody has taken pride in all the work that they've done here.
There's more than a dozen not-so-happy campers at this park. How its owner is responding to the RM bringing down the hammer next. A group of people with trailers in the Lac du Bonnet area are facing an uncertain future tonight. Their trailers have to be removed immediately. CTV's John Hendricks shows you why and what the removal order means for longtime residents.
It all started right here by the shores of the Lee River back in the late 1940s. That's when Darren Sarapu's grandfather began renting space for his friends to camp on his property.
We had the wedding. Clint's wedding in the back field.
In the decades that passed, people like Dave Brownrigg made this seasonal campground area their permanent summer home.
This isn't pull in Friday night and pull out Sunday afternoon. Well, everybody has taken pride in all the work that they've done here.
But for 13 residents, that work is about to be undone. They have been told they're no longer allowed to stay on the property, and some have already started to leave.
2 have been what I call forcibly removed, and 2 have left of their own. Not that they were in favor of leaving.
And owner Darren Sarapoo doesn't want them to leave either. However, the property is in violation of municipal bylaws. Back in 2015, the RM of Lac du Bonnet obtained a court order requiring them to remove the 13 trailers from the property as they were not located within 19 approved spaces. That court order was upheld in 2025.
The landowner was advised of that to bring the property into compliance, and that wasn't done. So we're in a position where we are following the law, that we are removing some of the structures.
A bitter disappointment to Dave Brownrigg.
When I think of what has happened in the last 20 years, to make it look like this, it's very upsetting.
Darren Sarapoo isn't giving up. He says he's filed an appeal and still holds out hope that at least some of the trailers will be allowed to stay.
My goal is to try my best to get them back here and back to some sort of normalcy that maybe we can get past this.
The appeal is scheduled to be heard in September. John Hendricks, CTV News, Lac du Bonnet.
Tick reports are ticking upwards across parts of the country, including right here in Manitoba. Data submitted to etix.ca shows as of yesterday, reports are up 38.5% so far this year compared to last. Now here in Manitoba, it's up 109%. Since the free online platform relies on user-submitted data, the true numbers are likely much higher. Ticks are expected to become more prevalent in Canada thanks to a combination of factors such as climate change, migratory birds, and expanding mice and deer populations. RCMP are asking for tips as they try to track down a suspect who's on the loose and may be armed. It all started with reports of an assault in Little Saskatchewan First Nation shortly after midnight Tuesday. Now that community is located northwest of Lake St. Martin. RCMP say the suspect then carjacked a vehicle at gunpoint with a woman still in the passenger seat. The passenger and vehicle were later found in Arson, but by the time police arrived, the suspect had already left. Mounties have issued an arrest warrant for 31-year-old James Matway Ashing from Little Saskatchewan First Nation. They say he may be armed and should not be approached. Anyone with information should call 911, Gypsumville RCMP, or Crime Stoppers. 3 Canadian universities are among the top 100 in the world, according to a new global ranking. The U.S. News and World Report Best Global Universities places the University of Toronto as Canada's top institution and 20th in the world. U of T's publication of articles and books and citations of its research is among those factors. The University of British Columbia ranked 42nd overall and 2nd in Canada. It got high marks for book publication and global and regional research. McGill University placed 68th globally and 3rd in Canada. Now for Canada's top 5, in addition to Toronto, UBC and McGill, McMaster University ranked 4th, placing 150th overall, while the University of Alberta came in 5th and 164th overall. Now the University of Manitoba was the only Manitoba school to make the list, ranking 15th in Canada. And as for the top universities worldwide, the top 3 are American: Harvard University, MIT, and Stanford. They are followed by 2 British institutions, the University of Oxford and University of Cambridge. A large-scale grocery store is coming to Winnipeg's downtown core. True North Real Estate Development says a Red River Co-op food store will be part of the $650 million Portage Place redevelopment. The store will be 22,500 square feet and will also have a 6,500 square foot pharmacy. Now, as you may recall, earlier this week, the provincial government released the results of its grocery price study. In it, a recommendation to explore building a downtown grocery store, essentially echoing what True North was already hearing in its surveys, consistently hearing the downtown community say they need a full-service food store. True North is excited about how the new addition will both impact the development and the community.
I mean, it's fundamentally important for the development. I think it's fundamentally important to downtown. I think, large footprint grocery like this has been in the downtown narrative for a quarter of a century, if not longer. And if you are increasing housing density in downtown, if you have people living in downtown, a desert of access to mainline food and grocery and pharmacy services is a challenge, but the fact that we're able to now partner with Red River to deliver that, it's a significant, I would think, for downtown.
The grocery store is expected to open sometime in 2029 and to create 57 jobs. Made in Manitoba research could transform the way doctors treat one of the most common adult neurosurgical diseases.
So this is brain bleed on the surface of the brain. When it happens, it compresses the brain and causes stroke-like symptoms.
Researchers from the University of Manitoba, in collaboration with Shared Health, have found a minimally invasive procedure which lowers the chance of those chronic brain bleeds from reoccurring. Now, it uses a procedure known as EMA, which reduces blood flow to the brain's outer area covering to help prevent rebleeding after surgery. Dr. Jay Shankar says EMA actually isn't new, but it's not commonly used for chronic brain bleeds.
When we do this treatment after surgical drainage, then the rate of recurrence of the bleed comes down from 28% to 4%.
Shankar believes including EMA in future treatment will improve care, reduce health care costs, and decrease time a patient spends in hospital. The findings come from a randomized clinical trial of 186 patients. It was published in the Journal of the American Medical Association in April. You won't have to pay PST on prenatal vitamins beginning a week from today. The province says it's part of a broader movement to support healthy pregnancies and families. The Public Health Agency of Canada says prenatal vitamins containing folate are important in reducing the risk of neural tube defects and help support healthy development of babies. Additionally, the province says pregnant women receiving income assistance will now be auto-enrolled for the prenatal benefit. These Toronto residents are working on their summer bod. We'll show you how they shed those extra layers. Plus, hot and humid, how fans heading to tomorrow night's Bomber games may want to gear up. Still to come in your Skywatch forecast. This photo snapped by Floyd certainly is helping Sugar Point live up to its name. Some beautiful babies there in that photo. You can send your weather photos to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca. So whomever is singing that song, rain, rain, go away, stop it, go away. Please don't keep saying come back another day, because it's continuing to come back and back and back. We'll show you just when we get a break from that coming up, but again, rain. We are seeing that tonight we aren't expecting rain, but we could be seeing some showers, even potentially a thunderstorm in the afternoon. Further north, though, there is a chance of some scattered showers throughout the evening. That's going to clear up in the morning for both Manitoba and northwestern Ontario, but rain is returning. I'm going to move actually just to the side here so you can get a better picture of what that looks like. We are seeing that on Thursday afternoon, so tomorrow afternoon. Make sure you have your rain slicker ready, especially if you're heading to the Bomber game, just in case you run into some showers or eat a messy hamburger. Now, by the time Friday morning rolls around, there is a lower chance of some showers falling. However, going into the weekend, again, keep your umbrella handy. Taking a look across the province, we are seeing a bit of a cloudier night in Gillam and Island Lake. Tomorrow in Island Lake, a chance of a thunderstorm, while showers are expected in Thompson. In the northwest, we are seeing a cloudy night in places like Flin Flon and the Pas. Tomorrow becoming scattered showers with a chance of a thunderstorm a little further north. Fog tonight in southwestern Manitoba, including all the way from Dauphin to Brandon. We're not going to see that fog here in Winnipeg, but northwestern Ontario. We'll show you in a second. Tomorrow in Brandon, 24 degrees as the high. Again, those scattered showers in southern Manitoba that we saw just a moment ago. Tomorrow in Winnipeg and really much of the Red River Valley, a high of 24 degrees is expected. And taking a look in Kenora, we are seeing fog tonight with 13 degrees as the expected low, 24 the high tomorrow with those chances of showers throughout the region. Taking a look at that 7-day forecast. Well, yes, there's a lot of rain. We are expecting on Friday to get a break from it with a mix of sun and cloud and some hot weather. However, throughout the weekend and early next week, you can expect some showers. It's summer, which means it's time to ditch the coat. These camels at the Toronto Zoo certainly got the zoo shedding their coats this week on World Camel Day. They naturally shed their fluffy winter look for a lighter summer wardrobe, but sometimes they need a little help. Staff say their thick winter coat can help them withstand temperatures as low as minus 40 degrees Celsius, and in the summer they can stay comfortable in 40-degree heat. Coming up, dreaming of the World Cup. We'll show you how soccer clubs are warming up for an influx of fans wanting to learn the sport next. With Team Canada accomplishing so many firsts on the world stage during this tournament, the sport of soccer is now on every Canadian's radar. As CTV's Brendan Strain shows us, the beautiful game has already seen a lot of growth over the past few years, but now participation is expected to balloon.
Team Canada may have fallen just short of today's win, but the success of this team has many kids now looking to take part in this beautiful game.
Halfway through 2022 World Cup, I started watching it and I liked it, so I just joined.
Since then, soccer has been Elfie's sport. Never look back.
Yeah, never look back. Most of my friends that don't play are watching it, and now they want to play.
Henry has been playing the sport for years, but since the beginning of the World Cup tournament, he has noticed playground behaviors have changed.
Like at school, we're going to go to the net and take some shots.
We're roughly around 1,500 kids in the fall-winter season, and then we get an extra 200 or 300 in the spring season.
Mike Venema is the technical director of the Wandafuka Soccer Association and says with the population on the West Shore continuing to grow, registration numbers are always slowly increasing.
A big goal of ours is to get as many kids to play as possible. You know, it's a fun game.
He predicts that due to the popularity of the World Cup, which is partially being played on our province's home pitch, JDF registration numbers are going to begin to rise drastically next season.
We could see a couple hundred kids increase for sure. Everybody watches the World Cup. You know, it's the biggest event in the world.
With Canada now upping its game in this tournament, accomplishing many firsts, the game of soccer on Vancouver Island is expected to grow in step with Canada's success on the pitch. Brendan Strain, CTV News, Langford.
If you noticed more people than usual calling in sick today, you can blame FIFA fever. A sea of red flooded into the King's Head pub this afternoon to cheer on Team Canada. Our soccer team took on Switzerland at the FIFA World Cup earlier today in Vancouver. It was one of many watch parties happening across the country for fans who couldn't score a ticket.
We couldn't be at the game in person. My son is there, and I'm getting updates from him from the stands. But we're here, which is the next best thing, because you can hear the crowd is amazing here. The atmosphere is really energetic.
Switzerland ended up winning that matchup 2-1.
Women's clothing provided by RW & Company. Salon services provided by S&T Spa Salon.
Tomorrow here in Winnipeg, we can potentially be seeing some showers or even a thunderstorm in the afternoon. For the first time in the history of Ontario's Lottery Authority, a brother and sister cashed in. Jonathan and Milen from Toronto have been playing the lotto together for nearly 2 years. It was all worth it when they hit the Lotto Max jackpot in March, taking home $75 million. Congratulations. And speaking of family, I want to wish my Nana a happy early 95th birthday. My Nana, Bernice Taylor, what if you're hanging around in the Elmwood area in the 30s? She went by Big Chick. So happy birthday, Nana. Thanks for watching and good night.